What is KCS in KuCoin? What is KuCoin's utility token used for? What fundamental factors affect it? What rumors have surfaced surrounding KuCoin, and how has it impacted trust in its platform? All of this and more in our weekly analysis. What is KuCoin? Well, it is an exchange that adopts the best of decentralization and centralization. It is the fifth most significant exchange in the market, and it is rumored to suspend all withdrawals very soon. But what does the company CEO say in this regard? Stay until the end to discover the reasons behind these rumors. The price of the KCS token has fluctuated over the last few days due to fears over its solvency. But what is this token used for? KCS was launched in 2017 as a participation token, which allows holders to obtain discounts on exchange fees. Additionally, a large part of fees charged on the exchange on a daily basis are divided amongst those who possess KCS tokens. This token also enables access to KuCoin Spotlight and Burning Drop, which are tools used to participate in the launch of the exchange's new projects. KCS's total supply is 200 million, but there are plans to burn a large part of those tokens until reaching 100 million. Before analysing news stories surrounding KCS's token fall, let's carry out a technical analysis of the token's price. In the weekly time frame, we can see that in some instances, KuCoin has gone against the flow. Its movements have always been aligned in terms of trend, but not in terms of percentage. In December 2017, KuCoin reached its previous all-time high, although Bitcoin had done so weeks prior. KCS's all-time high took place following the explosive growth it experienced, which was followed by an equally explosive downfall. Later, it experienced a consolidation phase on the downside. In January 2021, another abrupt movement took place, similar to that of Bitcoin, but if we take a look at that first peak in April 2021, it approached the previous all-time high zone, unlike Bitcoin, which did surpass it. And then it surpassed it in November 2021, a moment in which the entire market started to plummet. If we zoom in slightly, we can see that in November 2021, those 3 consecutive doji candlesticks were already popping up, creating those large spikes at the top while rejecting that area. Once this happened, we can see a downward continuation movement similar to that of Bitcoin, with lower highs and lows. The week starting May 9th, that impactful movement took place, creating a huge spike and a hanging man candlestick. From that moment on, it attempted to recover by retesting the superior part of resistance zone at $18. From June on, we can see an abrupt fall in the price of KuCoin, similar to the rest of the market. The price broke the support located at approximately $14 and approached the support at $10, creating a spike that even exceeded said support, where it later lateralized the following week, and once it was lost, an abrupt movement took place from June 27th to July 3rd. If we display the moving averages, we can get a good view of how, from the week starting June 27th, the movement coincided with the crossover of the 20 and 50 period moving averages. Moreover, it lost that zone with a full-body bearish engulfing candlestick and closed below the 100 period moving average. That was an important average as it served as a pivot zone. But this goes against that of Bitcoin, as it did not head towards the 200 period moving average. Additionally, it didn't reach levels seen in summer 2021, meaning it sustained the fall considerably well, although as we can see here, the fall is of 70%. If we take into account the fact that we're talking about an altcoin with a market cap much lower than that of Bitcoin, we can see that it has resisted the crypto market fall pretty well. If we move on to the daily time frame, we can see in more detail that towards the beginning of May, a pretty volatile bearish movement was carried out, reaching the RSI's oversold zone. Later, it bounced back and once again lost strength while the volume dropped, leading to a price fall. When the $14 zone was lost on June 13th, in accordance with Bitcoin, a bearish movement was carried out. Here, we can observe an intermediate bearish trend line in a minor subtrend from which the price is pretty far off. On June 19th, we can see a rebound that attempted to approach the resistance zone at $11, and towards the end of the month, we can see a rejection followed by a pretty significant continuation move. There's an explanation behind this last movement. Stay until the end to find out. With the displayed moving averages, we can see how the price remains away from the 20-period moving average, and it seems to be forming a structure that continues to display lower highs and lows. In addition, the averages are ordered from highest to lowest, which is the confirmation of a downtrend. As we can see, the price is forming a parallel descending channel, which is also a sign of a bearish trend structure. If we take a close look, when reaching the lower points, we can see considerable volume input. In other words, buying interest, which means that there are liquidity zones there. We can see that between May 12th and July 3rd, we could be facing a divergence, both in the oscillator compound as well as the relative strength index. If we see that the price starts closing above $9.11 with significant volume input and then retests the next resistance zone, those divergences mentioned previously would probably be activated. On July 4th, we can see a full-body bullish engulfing candlestick, and on July 5th, a bearish movement took place, which was partly absorbed by a hanging man candlestick, a movement that seems to be a pullback towards the relevant intermediary level at $9.11. Now, the price could head towards the important support zone between $6.77 and $8, following the descending parallel channel. And the worst case scenario is that it could lose the zone and even head towards the $5 zone. If on the flip side the price starts closing above $9.11 zone and consolidates, it could go on to test the superior part of the parallel channel, which also converges with the 20-period moving average as well as the resistance between $10 and $11. Worst comes to worst, if the price crosses that resistance, it could head towards the next resistance between $13 and $14, which converges with the 50-period moving average and the minor trend's downtrend. Now that we've analysed KCS's price, let's take a look at news stories that could have influenced the token's movements. It all started with this tweet, where a Twitter user suggested withdrawing from KuCoin, a user that seemingly had already participated in other FUD campaigns in exchange for certain rewards. KuCoin's CEO warned over the fear generated on Twitter and assured that KuCoin operates well and there are no plans of halting services. In addition, he bragged about the platform's performance and its ability to generate income as well as create new products and services. He also pointed out that they're still hiring staff. Regarding the accusations made on Twitter, he assured that transparency is one of KuCoin's key principles and that legal action could even be taken against those who have instigated such campaigns. However, these statements did not bring about the desired outcome and the KCS token dropped, leading to a significant volume movement. KuCoin-related wallets display unusual activities, with around $1.7 billion worth of ERC20 tokens and only about $10 million left. This outflow of money generated panic amongst investors who have their money on the exchange and traders who actively trade funds on the KuCoin platform. And 80 million USDT transfers from KuCoin was also discussed, something that, according to Johnny Liu, is nothing to worry about, given it is simply a cold KuCoin wallet to a KuCoin wallet today. Now that we've analysed the reasons behind the fall of KuCoin's token, let's take a look at the blockchain's movement in our on-chain analysis. In this chart, we can see the balance of KCS on all of exchanges, which remains completely fat according to Glassnode. Here, we can see that since the end of June, the average transfer volume has increased remarkably, reaching its highest peak on June 23rd with 1.2 million KCS transferred. Those movements occurred precisely as rumours mentioned previously started to surface. Here, we can see how large KuCoin token holders reduced their balance by 0.011% of the total supply, which could seem insignificant. However, it is a percentage of the total amount. As this reduction occurred, the price gravitated from $9.97 to $8.79. In the overall number of whale transactions greater than 100,000 USD, we see how between June 1st and June 4th, an enormous number of transactions had been carried out by whales, displaying the impact of the rumours. Additionally, if we take a look at active addresses, daily activities, we can see how they coincide with these dates, creating the most significant activity peak of the year. And the MBRVZ tracks the z-score distance between market value and realized value. The z-score is the number of standard deviations above or below the average. In other words, MBRVZ indicates how separate market value is from the realized value at any given point in time. This indicator highlights possible movements of undervaluation, which usually coincide with capitalization movements. In this case, we can see that it is a 3-point zone, which still does not indicate the possible lower zones, giving 5 and above are usually the over-evaluation zone, while below 1 is an under-evaluation zone. As we have seen, FUD campaigns on social media can significantly impact the value of tokens, especially during these times as confidence in the entire crypto ecosystem hangs by a thread, while news surrounding Celsius Network or 3 Arrows Capital continue to sow panic around the entities that manage millions of dollars in assets. The directors of these companies are trying to calm things down, although sometimes, as is the case of KuCoin, falls are inevitable. What about you? What do you think about these fear, uncertainty and doubt campaigns? Let us know in the comment section below.